Hi everyone, my name is Kimberly Walker and I am the Director for the Office of Diversity and Inclusion at Georgetown School of Medicine and also the Director of the ARCHES Program. Today we have Lamek Kahsay, who is going to be detailing his experience in the ARCHES Program as he was one of our 2017 Fellows. I will be asking questions here on the side. I'm going to go ahead and pass the computer to Lamek so he can explain his experience. So the first question I have, the ARCHES program encourages you to bridge, build, and be bold. When we say bridge, we're talking about bridging the content that you're learning in the classroom with real-world research, clinical, and health equity settings. When we say build, we're talking about building networks, really making sure you're making connections here at the School of Medicine. When we say be bold, we're talking about cultivating the skills and confidence you need to succeed in the pre-medical track and beyond. Would you please be able to detail your experience with the ARCHES program in terms of how you were able to bridge, to build, and to be bold?
Definitely. With the bridge approach, it was, as Ms. Walker discussed, it's really about connecting some of your past experiences, but also your classwork into the program. There's not a lot of transfer in terms of, or emphasis on the scientific approach, but generally some of the lessons that you learn, interacting with different individuals, and ensuring that you're able to keep up with the rigorous schedule, and all of the, opportunities that lie when in the program. For the bridge aspect, I was able to do a lot of self-reflecting, see what I needed to work on as a medical student, potential medical student, and ensuring that I'm building a better me, and strengthening my skills, and identifying weaknesses. So as I was discussing earlier, I had networking skills that I've already established, but I really did need to work on them, especially in the medical front. And this program was excellent for that, and everything else. Having dedicated mentors and individuals that be able to help you throughout the process was really beneficial. And then as we go on to the Be Bold approach, again, gaining confidence to demonstrate my skills that I gained through the ARCHES program, but even prior, was really important in, being someone that can advocate for others, but also advocate for myself and what I need and what I believe will make me a better person, but also a better physician.
Okay. Thank you. The ARCHES program engages you in research, clinical rotations, and service learning. Can you first talk about your experience within the ARCHES program as it relates to the research component?
The research component takes up a huge part of the program, and it's well intended. A lot of the essential, elements that are looked for students are, provided in this program, and research is one of them. And during my second round of my interviews, I was asked, what am I looking into? What are type of the research experiences that would really benefit me and I feel like I would be able to thrive in? And I knew personally that I didn't really want to do a lot of lab work, and I wanted to do something that would be much more impactful, especially in DC on a broader sense. And so I was, when I was paired up with my lab mentor, Dr. Kumar Hendricks, who was at the time director of, the medical director of anesthesia, she provided me with everything that I needed. And I was matched up with her, and the topic that I wanted to work on was, establishing and developing a pre-assessment triage tool to identify individuals who have coexisting conditions that may affect when they are sedated or, generally when they're given anesthesia. And so that tool is now being, worked on, developed. It was beta tested, and all of that, was done under the supervision of Dr. Kumar Hendricks and under other individuals in the medical field and the surgical center that were huge supporters of me and my pursuit to establish this tool. But generally, the experience was definitely fruitful. being placed in the hospital setting was a great opportunity for me, and interacting with the nurses really established and helped me how I interact with nurses in the future as a physician.
Thank you. As I mentioned earlier, in the Arches program, you're going to be doing clinical rotations. Can you talk about your experience and where you rotated and what you liked best about the clinical rotations?
Yeah, I met with critical members of the Georgetown Medical Center community. We did a number of rotations that changed by week. So we were able to do OBGYN, which was one, and we also did internal medicine. And a lot of those individuals or physicians that we met with during our clinical rotations are huge supporters of the ODI office, and have generally been great assets to get a real hands-on approach and be able to really see them in their work, in their passion, and have side dialogues, but generally be able to provide me with all the skill sets that I need and general advice. And so the different places that we were placed, we not only were established in the Georgetown medical community, but also in Providence Hospital in Spring Valley, which really focuses on providing us a spectrum of the type of patients that we're going to be meeting with in our future endeavors as physicians.
Thank you. The last component in the Arches program is to participate in community service, where you can do some real service learning geared towards learning more about healthcare disparities. Can you talk specifically about your service learning experience, the places that you went, and the connections that you made?
So we visited a lot of centers in the DC area that help in the fight for promoting health, but also addressing some of the disparities plaguing the communities. And that's was perfect for me as someone from DC, being able to look at what they provide and really try to incorporate the general passion for it into what I want to do, and really open my eyes on the things that are experienced in the DC area. So we were able to visit Capital Food Bank, where we were able to sort cans and do a lot of hands-on work, and be able to know that the work that we're doing at the center will be impactful for the next person in the area. But also La Clínica de Pueblo, located in Columbia Heights in DC, being able to see their passion to helping those in the Latinx community, and all the trials and tribulations that are present in the community, being able to address those, which was amazing. But I would say my most impactful would be visiting Whitman Walker, which is a center that focuses on LGBT health and providing resources for those infected with HIV and AIDS, but also promoting PrEP. And I feel that was really impactful because, although I'm not in the community, you see that there's so much help that needs to be done. And we were, lectured on how there is only 6 to 8 hours of LGBT health training in medical school. And I knew that because I'm going to be working in underserved populations in DC, that there needs to be more of it, and I need to be trained so I could be a more adequate, respectful, and overall inclusive physician, in ensuring that the physicians that come to me the patients that come to me will be able to feel safe under my care.
Wow, it sounds like you've had a lot of great experiences within the Arches program. So other than doing research, clinical rotations, and service learning, can you comment specifically on any outside activities that you participated in as well?
Again, the scheduling was very intense, but filled with impactful opportunities. So from Monday through Wednesday, there's a huge focus on lab work and meeting with your lab mentor. But there was also things jam-packed throughout the weeks, but there was a general focus on lab work. But on Thursdays, we really looked on our service learning and ensuring that that was really emphasized. While on Friday, we had a focus on clinical experiences, whether it's in the medical center or outside of it, and it cared for all types of patients, and it was amazing.
Okay, great, thank you. Can you comment on what the housing experience was like?
Yeah, it was great. We were provided an RA who was also a medical student, who was able to, have weekly meetings with us, serve as another mentor, and the meetings included, food, which was great in the end of the day, but also was just a de-stress and assisted us in any way throughout the program, and discussed our strengths, weaknesses, and that was really, great in our home setting to be able to get that care also.
Great. Thinking about challenges or just things maybe that you didn't anticipate from the Arches program, were there any challenges or issues that you encountered? And if you can talk about those and specifically how you overcame them.
Mm-hmm. Like I said before, the schedule was very intense. There was a lot of things that we had to, get accomplished, and being as it was my first year, being exposed to all of that was, shocking at first. But I knew that all of it was going to be, influential for my progress. So, meeting with Dean Chang and talking to her about, my progress and making sure that I'm able to keep up, and that goes the same for the rest of the Arches Fellows. We were listened to, and we had a lot of great feedback given to us, but we were also given the opportunity to give that feedback. And I think my, keeping up with the schedule was definitely, fixed or adjusted or improved by just the amount of support that I was given.
Great. So in thinking about the fact that as a student you have many options for different programs, some similar to and some different from the Arches program, can you explain to the audience as to what allowed you to make the decision that Arches was the right program for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really wanted to establish fruitful connections, being as it was the summer before my senior year, and I wanted to stay in DC because that's where I'm from, and also I knew that this was going to be a place for me in the future, and having Georgetown as an asset was amazing, and it still serves as an asset to me now, as I plan on applying to medical school and, plan on continuing some of the projects that I did throughout my time as an Arches Fellow. But I also really like the incorporation of a holistic approach to medicine and ensuring that we're all well-rounded when approaching patients of all backgrounds. And then all of the other medical-related programs in the DC area that I was applying to were great, but they had a focus on one topic, and I knew that there was a lot that needs to be addressed, and we needed to be trained on to ensure that that we were the best physicians. And so there was something that Arches could provide that some of the other ones didn't have the same caliber, and I knew everything that could be provided to me during the program will still be essential as I leave.
Thank you. And thinking about 3 tips for the application, what 3 tips would you offer potential applicants who are thinking that they might want to apply to the Arches program?
Mm-hmm. The first one would be yourself. I think it's really important to just show your true intentions and know why you're doing this outside of I need to get into medical school. There's so much that this program can offer you, as a potential medical student, but also just as a person, the other opportunities and resources that you possibly would not get even on your own campus. But also, having someone who can speak on your personal skills is very important when looking for a recommender, because that can really determine how you act in various settings in and out of the hospital. But my third would be conducting some self-reflection of your true intentions prior to applying, and just really looking at the questions that are asked of you, and making sure that a lot of those resonate with you and what you'd be able to provide.
Great. If you could give us 3 more tips, but focusing more so on the interview process, what tips would you give potential applicants if they are granted an interview?
My 3 tips, for any interview, would be 1, preparing questions that you may be asked during the interview, and ensuring that they're concise, but really telling of you and what you hope to get out of the program. But again, also what you can provide, and just ensuring that you're speaking to them, but also, looking at some of the qualities, of the school that you're also, seeking to apply to. So again, to this, I guess, transitioning to my second point, researching the program and also the school, and having great questions that you'd be able to, demonstrate your interest, and looking at some of the, potential aspects of the school that are highly sought out for. So for me, I was really looking at their global health approach, and their program, and that's something I really want to focus on, as I transition into medical school and seeing some of those opportunities that can be provided to me as a student.
Okay, thank you. I think that's about all that we have time to cover. Just want to say thank you, Lamek, for sharing your experience about the Arches program.
Thank you.